Ja, nu kommer spårvagnen. Tillbaka igen. I många städer världen över anlägger man nu moderna spårvägar för att lösa sina trafik- och miljöproblem. I 2 program ska vi visa hur man i bilens förlovade land, USA, investerar miljardbelopp för att komma till rätta med de problem som en mycket kraftig biltillväxt har ställt till med. När man talar om spårvägar i USA så kommer man nog först att tänka på San Francisco och dess kabelspårvagnar. Någonting som var och en som besöker stan måste åka med. För det är först och främst som turistattraktion som den fortfarande rullar i de branta backarna. Den första kabelspårvagnen anlades redan 1873 av en kabelfabrikör och flera gånger har banan varit nedläggningshotad men fått leva vidare. I början av 80-talet genomgick hela anläggningen en genomgripande renovering för $60 miljoner och lär väl därför finnas kvar till turismens fromma i åtskilliga år framåt. Men i de här 2 programmen ska vi titta på de moderna spårvägsanläggningar som nu växer upp i till exempel Portland, Oregon, i Kaliforniens huvudstad Sacramento, i teknikens högborg Silicon Valley, det vill säga San Jose, San Francisco som alltså även har en modern spårväg, San Diego i södra Kalifornien där man har en spårväg som går ner till mexikanska gränsen. Vi ska också besöka Vancouver i västra Kanada där man har byggt en mycket avancerad helautomatisk och datastyrd spårvägsanläggning. Men varför satsar man nu på spårvägar igen?
Well, the automobile has really put itself out of business in California. Was very, very popular in the early 1900s and became more and more popular until now. Our roadways are so overcrowded that you can't get another car on them. We've expanded out to the edge of where the roadways can go without tearing the community down to build more roads. We know that double-decking roads won't work. Los Angeles tried that and they have air pollution which is completely stifling down there. We don't want to be like that. So we realize now that we have to go to a multimodal system. Roadways, maintaining and building our roadways to the optimum, not maximum, but optimum effect. And then going back to a mass transportation modality that we used very effectively up until about 1938 and can work effectively again. We studied this for 11 years before we finally began building this system. We spent over $5 million on 5 different studies. They all agreed that reestablishment of a tramway or light rail system was the best way of doing it. Coupling that into a BART type system, a heavy rail system, and a typical European commuter type system, and reestablishing those modalities all over the county. Eventually, we're going to have something like 150 miles of rail transportation crisscrossing our valley from one end to the other and interconnecting with different types of modes and being fed by bus feeder and distribution programs.
Ja, motorvägarna är alltså överfyllda och kan snart inte svälja mer trafik. Och bilbeståndet bara ökar. Inte nog med att man knappt kan ta sig fram längre. Det växande bilbeståndet för också med sig ökade luftföroreningar. Trots de hårda avgasreglerna i Kalifornien så gör mängden av bilar luften ibland alldeles brunfärgad i den hälsovådliga smoggen. På televisionen i Los Angeles visades nyligen på Public Service-kanalen ett program som belyste detta problem. Vi kan här visa ett avsnitt för att se vart vi kanske är på väg även här hemma.
Eastbound Ventura Freeway. Traffic not too bad yet. Flowing smoothly at about 9 miles an hour. KTRF commuter time, 4 a.m. The computer's projecting drive times from Riverside to downtown Los Angeles of about 3.5 hours. The CHP has just issued a stage 4 traffic alert, so please refrain from all non-essential driving. For more details on that, let's go up to Air 96.
Downtown Los Angeles is gridlocked again this morning. That's a record 12 times this month. Traffic control is shutting down the 4-level interchange due to overcrowding. Looks like a lot of folks are going to be stuck in traffic again this morning.
There are 15 million of us living in Southern California, all crowding onto the same roads and freeways. Together, we spend more than 500,000 hours every day stuck in 300 miles of congestion. And if you think that's bad, it's going to get a lot worse. At least that's the conclusion of the Southern California Association of Governments. Transportation planner Roger Riga studied what would happen if we stay on our current course.
By the year 2010, if we did nothing at all, we would see that over 50% of our travel time would be spent in delay, stop-and-go traffic, essentially just not moving.
Half our time stuck in traffic. The Association of Governments predicts average rush hour speeds would drop from 31 miles an hour today to just 11 miles an hour in 20 years. A trip on the San Diego freeway that now takes an hour and a half would take more than 3 hours. And the Santa Monica-San Bernardino freeway would crawl at just 7 miles an hour. And that's after all the new freeways and rail lines now being built are completed. One reason for this traffic jam, population growth. Governor George Deukmejian.
In the next 20 years, we are going to add, and this is going to thrill you, 9 million more residents to our state. Nearly 8 million additional vehicles will be crowding our freeways and roads.
The bulk of that growth, some 5 million people, will be concentrated in Southern California. It would be like the entire populations of Oregon, Nevada, and Utah all moving in. But it's not just a matter of more people.
The second part of the problem, though, is as that growth occurs, it's not occurring in a balanced pattern, but in an unbalanced way with jobs here, housing there. And you're creating a demand for more and more trips that go these longer distances rather than being close to one another.
In short, people are flocking to outlying areas like San Bernardino and Riverside, where they can afford to buy homes. But they're keeping high-paying jobs in the cities, trading long commutes for the American dream. Mike Connolly is one driver who knows just how bad it can get. He commutes from Riverside to his job in Los Angeles every day.
Traffic like this usually takes about 2 or 3 hours to get into LA. And so most of them are leaving their house about that time, 3 hours early and a couple hours to get home. So a lot of them are probably on the freeway about 5 hours a day.
Hundreds of thousands of commuters traveling from their suburban homes to city jobs is putting a crushing load on our transportation system. Why is it happening? Blame skyrocketing housing prices in Orange and Los Angeles counties. That's what drove Mike Connolly to the Moreno Valley in Riverside County, some 60 miles from his job near downtown Los Angeles.
Like I say, to get into a house in Los Angeles would have taken us probably 10 years, to save the way we were going.
For only $4,000 down, Connolly bought an $80,000 house in Riverside, but the trade-off was a 120-mile-a-day commute.
If you weigh it out, the commuting isn't really that bad considering what you're getting for, your money out there. I mean, I'm willing to do it for a while. I don't want to do it forever.
You can see the problem every morning at 6 a.m. in Riverside as workers begin their exodus.
You got to do what you got to do, right? If you want to live in a house these days.
It's an everyday mess today. I don't know what the heck to say about it. We just always try to find a different way to get there so you can get where you want to get.
Hey, I come out here every morning. It's wonderful! I can't wait to get out of bed, hop in my car, hop on my phone and sit in traffic and enjoy it. It's wonderful!
Ja, det är ju trevligt att se att det finns människor som kan vända problemen till någonting positivt. För det är väl det som de flesta måste göra. Acceptera faktum och göra det bästa av det. Men acceptera denna utveckling gör inte myndigheterna. Man har gjort upp en plan som kommer att kosta $10 miljarder inom den närmaste 5-årsperioden. Alltså 65 miljarder kronor. Det innebär att man återinför spårbunden trafik i denna till ytan vidsträckta stad. Los Angeles hade en livlig spårvägstrafik till mitten av 50-talet när man successivt avvecklade hela systemet. Den mångskiftade vagnparken har dock delvis tillvaratagits av några driftiga entusiaster som har skapat Orange Empire Railway Museum i Paris strax utanför Los Angeles. Där kan man i en fin och välorganiserad miljö se och provåka med både tåg och spårvagn från många amerikanska städer.
This car was built in 1948. Now that really wasn't so long ago. And it's one of the most modern cars that we have here at the museum. And it only ran until 1963, 15 short years. And about that time, some people in Los Angeles decided that they wanted to get people out of streetcars and into cars where they would use rubber tires and gasoline. And so they took these off the tracks and they put those trolley buses that you see over there on the streets because they didn't have to have track maintenance to worry about. They were very flexible. They could drive all around as long as they were close to that trolley wire right up over the center. And that just worked great. It was a great scheme. And it's just so wonderful that here we are today, all on rubber tires and gasoline and gridlock on the freeways, right? I don't know how long it takes you to get to work every day. So maybe we need to get back to the streetcars, right?
Och det är alltså precis vad man gör i Los Angeles. Första spadtaget är taget och man är i full gång med bygget som ska resultera i en första snabbspårväg mellan stans centrum och Long Beach, en sträcka på 34 kilometer. Men det är bara början på ett ganska väl utbyggt system som ska täcka det mesta av Los Angeles-området.
In order to make up for lost time, we are beginning a very ambitious program to build rail throughout Los Angeles County. The total system we're working on right now is 150 miles when it's completely built out in about the year 2020. At that point, Los Angeles will go from last place with no rail miles to second place in the country behind New York in terms of the size of its rail transit system. We're just now in the beginning stages of that process. The total cost of the system is going to be up in the, I guess, $5 billion or more range, $5 to $10 billion when it's totally built out. In order to find that kind of money, we needed the support of the citizens, obviously, and that support came back in 1982 when the citizens of the county voted to tax themselves 0.5% or 1/2 cent on each dollar in a sales tax. That sales tax goes exclusively toward providing funds for operating bus system as well as for building rail transit. Right now, that half penny per dollar brings in about $320 million a year to us for transportation uses.
Det är som sagt ett väldigt omfattande system som ska byggas för de här pengarna. Den här skissen ger en uppfattning om linjenätet. Banan till Long Beach i mitten är märkt med en 1 och den korsande banan till flygplatsen med en 2. Long Beach-banan ska trafikeras med såna här 6-axliga ledvagnar som tar 230 passagerare. 32 vagnar är beställda från den japanska tillverkaren. Stationerna, som blir 22 till antalet, förses med höga plattformar så att de ligger i nivå med vagnens golv. Vagnens hastighet blir ungefär 80 km i timmen och restiden mellan Long Beach och Los Angeles blir cirka 50 minuter. Man räknar med 35 000 resenärer per dag under det första året för att år 2000 vara uppe i 54 000 per dag. Union Station i centrum blir omstigningsstation till metrolinjen, en tunnelbana som bland annat ska gå under berget till norra Hollywood och Burbank. Inne i Los Angeles centrum går spårvägen i en tunnel som man just nu är i full gång med att bygga. Man gjuter en sträcka i taget på cirka 2 kvarters längd för att inte helt lamslå den intensiva biltrafiken. En avstängning skulle medföra fullständigt kaos och högljudda protester. Som ni ser gjuter man allting på plats och när betongen har torkat är det bara att täcka med isoleringsmatta och sen lägga tillbaka körbanan igen och öppna för trafik. Men största delen av banan går ovan jord och man utnyttjar den gamla banan till Long Beach där en gång de stora röda spårvagnarna rullade fram. Men när man ser bygget idag frågar man sig om allt detta kan vara klart att öppna 1990.
I don't think many people realize that a year from now on this very spot there will be trains operating. They'll be in a testing phase, but they will be light rail vehicles here and running, being tested to get us ready to open the system. In the middle of 1990, the system will open for carrying passengers between Long Beach and LA. Not that far away at all.
Jag tror det eller ej, men man lär hinna bli färdig tills dess. Schemat håller. Vagnhallen som vi ser här och som ska rymma 80 vagnar ska vara klar att ta emot första leveransen i augusti 1989. För de 752 miljoner dollar, alltså nästan 5 miljarder kronor, som banan har kostat får man en spårväg som mycket påminner om banan i Miami, som tyvärr inte blivit så framgångsrik när det gäller passagerarfrekvensen. Ska den här spårvägsanläggningen locka till sig tillräckligt många bilister för att lösa Los Angeles trafikproblem? Ja, chansen finns. En spårvagn har ju en kapacitet som motsvarar 3 bussar och sådär en 150-200 bilar. För att informera invånarna och tala om hur förträfflig spårvagnen är som kollektivtrafikmedel har man låtit framställa en film som visas i alla berörda områden. För alla lokala myndigheter, markägare, fastighetsägare och företagare är kanske inte helt positiva till att få en spårväg in på knutarna. Vi kan här visa ett sammandrag av den filmen.
Ease is the essence of movement. Economy is the true test of travel. Public transit is measured not in miles, but in mobility, in security and service. Providing access, dependable and safe, is half the burden of urban transit. Those who must move through a city, who live and work, purchase and enjoy at its scattered centers, who travel its spaces and its expanding generations, have learned they can rely upon the reach of rail. Commuting can be chaos. In Los Angeles alone, 485,000 hours are lost each day just getting to and from. Such conditions distort every aspect of urban movement. Time, convenience, cost, control. If we are to move again, we must change the way we think about the way we move. We must create transit alternatives designed for the way people need to move, not only cars. Proved in cities across the world, one such alternative is modern rail transit. Rail transit need not be subways, nor is it freight trains. It is a form of urban transit that is city-sized and swift, an economic link among the places people need to reach. Rail transit is a means to move us, not only to work, school, shopping, and our homes, but from now into the next century. Transit means movement across. Rail transit adapts to surface conditions, reaching into urban centers, using land more efficiently to move people. When protected from traffic, weather, accidents, and roadwork, rail's reliability is unique. Track forms a technological tie among the life centers of a region. Over 80 years of development and testing in urban landscapes have produced modern rail cars that are sleek, comfortable, and quiet. When drawing power from overhead, the trains do not endanger or pollute, but mix easily on city and suburban streets and in protected rights-of-way. As it spans urban centers and reaches into residential areas between, rail transit reflects the landscape. Whether on streets at grade, on aerial structures, or underground, it is an insulated movement that fits and shapes itself to meet conditions, moving people closer to the hearts of cities, providing access to a region's resources, and dependable passage home. Rail transit is never static, but expands with urban growth. The reach of rail is a living asset, reflecting a region's changing form, creating new possibilities of movement for its population. It does so with far less disturbance than the background level of our lives. Tracks are welded into single strips, reducing surface noise. Modern electric motors are muted to a hum below the rumble of a truck or bus.
Well, actually, it's a lot quieter than I thought it was going to be. When the train goes by, all you hear is a swish, just a gentle swish. For a couple of seconds, then it's gone.
No, absolutely not. We have a bedroom over here. We hardly hear it.
Vibration can be controlled through absorbers in the wheels and beneath the track. In many areas, rail lines are landscaped, adding visual interest and helping to further insulate the trains and their passage. More than any other travel mode, rail transit molds itself to meet the needs of the communities it serves. Stations, too, reflect the simplicity of design. Uncluttered, unobtrusive, they are easy access entries to the system. All provide for security and shelter and the special needs of travelers. The system is safe for those who live with and move within it. Where needed, barriers protect both passengers and pedestrians. Intersections are carefully controlled. Trains observe all traffic lights at grade or cross behind synchronized gates and signals. Such movement can be timed to provide a maximum of safety with minimal traffic delay. Because power is suspended from above, it poses no risk for those who cross the tracks. In rail transit, safety tempers speed. Trains observe safe speed limits in city centers and between, while exclusive rights-of-way assure adherence to schedules. It is an ideal blend of economy and movement. Within the system, passengers must feel secure. Stations are lighted end to end, as are the areas surrounding. Park and ride lots, too, are lighted and built with easy access to the platforms. The value of the community's investment in rail transit will be preserved and will remain a source of civic pride. Rail is a second car for an entire region, without the stress of breakdowns, traffic, parking, and exhaust. Once aboard the train, you know when you will arrive and how much it will cost. Rail returns control to the commute, and what was once stress time in a car becomes productive time aboard. The future quality of our urban life, in part, will be determined by the quality of the transit we build now. This transit legacy must be versatile, economical, and safe if it is to serve the needs of this and coming generations. Community support has placed the means within our reach. The burden of travel tomorrow will be carried not on roads alone, but on rails.
Ja, det låter ju mycket förträffligt om man får tro den här filmen. Men vi har också hört vad det kostar och hur ska då en liten stad med, låt oss säga, under 500 000 invånare överhuvudtaget kunna anlägga en spårväg. Vi frågar en ansedd expert på spårvägar, Thomas Mettoff i Sacramento.
It is true that rail systems represent a significant capital investment, but they also represent a significant savings in operating cost. And of course, one of the most intelligent things a transit system can do is use capital investment in a creative way to reduce its operating expenses. Now, how shall I put it, the dogma in the transit industry has generally been that, except for the very largest cities, metropolitan areas of perhaps several million people and very high population densities, that rail systems simply are not justified, and that only buses are operable in cities of this kind. But I think the new experience in American cities, particularly low-density, medium-sized cities in the western United States, demonstrates quite clearly that that is absolutely not true. Most importantly, San Diego, I think, has really shown the way. Here you have a city in Southern California, home of the automobile culture, and a light rail line there has proved to be very popular with people. It carries 20,000 passengers a day, which isn't enormous perhaps by European standards, but it's very significant by American standards, and has proven to be so popular that people in other parts of the metropolitan area are demanding that their neighborhood or part of the city be next to receive rail service. And this isn't an isolated incident. Portland, Oregon has a rail system that's been very successful. San Jose, as you know, has one that's under construction that actually is carrying more people now that it is running downtown than had been projected to carry. Sacramento is carrying 14,000 passengers a day. This is phenomenal in a low-density city with a warm climate where people love to drive with the convertible top down if they have one. And light rail is making a big hit here. So I think that the combination of the attractiveness of the service and the basic economics of light rail are really showing that this concept has a very big future in this country, and I hope all the way around the world.
Ja, Thomas Mettoff är helt övertygad om spårvägens framtid. I vårt nästa program om amerikanska spårvägar ska vi titta närmare på de städer vi just hörde om och se hur mottagandet och utvecklingen har varit på dessa relativt nya anläggningar.